that's his list, okay.
All right, it's 5:30, so I'll call the meeting to order. Michelle, can we do a roll call, please?
Steve Herron?
Here.
Carol Honkamp? Here. Nicole Jacobs? Here. Jean Unruh? Here. Danny Workmeister?
Here. Attendance, also in attendance, Kelly Top, our superintendent of attendance. Guests, have you signed in? Awesome. All right, if you would join me in standing to say the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on our agenda is approval of the agenda. Take a look at the consent agenda on item number 5. Make sure that if anybody makes changes that needs to be done before approval of the agenda.
I'd like to request 5C be taken out of the consent agenda.
Okay. We will move that to just between items 8 and 9 on the agenda. If there are any other changes, I entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda for Tuesday, January 16th, 2024. I will second.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, also the same sign. Carried. All right. Public forum. This will be the opportunity for residents or other interested people here that want to talk about something either on or off the agenda other than item number 7, the public hearing. If you want to speak at the public hearing on the lagoon aeration project, you can do that at that time. Otherwise, I would welcome any public comments. Glenda?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry I was not able to attend your meeting last time. I had a funeral in Norfolk, Nebraska that I had to attend and got my windshield broke on the way over. It was not a good day. So I will be addressing things that happened at that meeting. Is that all right?
Any public comments you would like to make?
All right.
Fine.
I knew that when the newspaper did not vote, I knew that was going to happen because I had talked to someone before about this and knew that sooner or later it was going to happen to Paullina Times. And also the website got axed as well, and mainly because they do not like the people that are running it. You know, we go through life and there's things people don't like about us. I did not get on city council, and thank you, dear Lord, because I prayed not to. And I'm very happy that I did not. But there are a couple things that I want to talk to you about. And one of them is the banks that you distributed your money in. We have 3 banks in this town. 3. Why did part of that money go to Primgar Bank and not to American State Bank? Because they own property, even though they just have a teller machine there, they still own property. They're members of our Chamber of Commerce, and they pay property taxes on that property to that. Can anybody tell me why it went to Primgar out of town and not to one of the banks here in town? That was really irritated the heck out of me. Also, it's been brought to my attention about the fire station and the money that the fire station receives every year that gets tossed into the general fund. You're going to be doing a budget. You need to go into the budget from years past and find that money so that it goes to the fire station for when they plan on building their new building. And I'm going to do everything I can to help them get that done. I'm done.
Thank you, Glenda. We will take your comments under advisement. Anybody else for a public forum? All right, we'll move to the item number 5, I would entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Carried. All right, item number 6, approve payment of claims. Claims in front of you. I would entertain a motion for approval of the payment of claims. After which you'll have an opportunity to say. Do you have a second?
Second.
All right, discussion. You've got claims in your packet, plus some additional claims that were on our table when we arrived here tonight.
Got a couple questions.
Sure.
I noticed that there was not dollar amounts associated with some of the line items that are on the claims list here, such as Avis, Central, Delta Dental, Iowa, Ipers, and so on. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, when we print the report, it prints, it'll print all of these vendors. We're trying to figure out how to get it to not print it, because Avis isn't even, it's not even a vision company we use anymore, and it's inactive in our system.
Okay.
So those are zeros.
They're zeros.
Those are
Okay.
zeros, okay. Then, Town and Country Disposal, something about a pickup. It's like 50, almost $6,000. Anybody know what that's about?
That's their charge. That's what,
That's their monthly charge.
that's their monthly charge.
Oh, for delivering garbage.
Right.
Okay, okay.
Garbage, yeah.
And then the last question I have is, do we have grant money, COVID grant money? I guess I wasn't aware of that. We still have
Yes.
some of that? Is that just for specialized purposes?
Yes,
Okay. So,
the lagoon area.
We're using that for the lagoon.
okay. All right. Thanks.
And then you saw there was some additional things.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other comments, questions?
What's the border states thing? I think Kelly, you can tell me
That
that.
is the stuff we're ordering for the project for next year, the stuff that's
Okay, but you
long
put it up and
lead
do all that.
time.
Okay.
All right, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. All right. Item number 7, I will open the public hearing to consider the plans, specifications, form of contract, and project costs for the 2024 City of Paullina Lagoon Aeration Project. Did you receive any written comments regarding that public hearing, Michelle? All right. Is there anybody here in attendance that would like to talk to that project?
I think you have to go through the formal process of having a motion and a second to open and then later to close the public hearing. From your council members.
Yep.
All right, I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing for the public hearing to consider plans, specifications, form of contract, and project costs for the 2024 City of Paullina Lagoon Aeration Project.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
All right, public hearing is open.
Vote.
Pardon?
Vote. On the motion.
You're right. And that would be just a voice vote, correct? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. Okay, now the public hearing is open.
There we go.
Thank you. Michelle, no comments, no written comments? Anybody in person here to talk to this during the public hearing?
I'll move to close the public hearing.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. All right. Item number 8 is discussion of plan specifications, form of contract, etc. It's just discussion, there's no action to be taken. But Ben Groen from Beck Engineering is here to talk to us and give us a little bit more information on where we're at with that project.
Yeah, so we took bids last week on Thursday for the project. We got 2 bids back, one from King Construction and one from Cleveringa Excavating. We bid the project with 2 alternates, which allowed us to bid it with 2 different systems of lagoon aeration. One is a floating system, the other is a submerged system. They're both effective systems that get used in lagoons. We just wanted to be able to bid both of them and let the city and Kelly choose which one they wanted to move forward with. King Construction was the low bid for both of those alternates. I guess moving forward, tonight is just a discussion. Moving forward, we'll be choosing if we want to move forward with the project. If you want to accept one of the bids, part of that process will be choosing which alternate to choose. The base bid is for kind of the base work around the lagoon, installing some pipe and stuff, and then alternate 1 is the floating lagoon system. Alternate 2 is the submerged lagoon system. So if the project moves forward, it would need to be accepted with the base bid plus one of the alternates. Other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has about the project or anything like that. I think you all have the bid tab, so you can see what the bid amounts were and everything.
What do we know about King and Cleveringa besides that's hard to pronounce?
Yeah, so King Construction, we bid this project about 2 years ago in the summer. King Construction bid it at that time too. The city decided not to move forward at that time because we got 1 bid. It wasn't a really good time of the year for bidding, and their bid seemed a little bit high at the time. I do know King has installed several of these systems in the area. They're on.
What, can you kind of fill us in what cities in case?
Yeah, I know they've done one in Ruthven. I believe they were working over by Armstrong recently. I know there's a few more, and I can absolutely get a list from them, from King, of other ones that they've done in the area.
But as far as from your perspective, they're a good contractor. They can get what we need.
Yeah, they've worked with both. So we specified 2 specific manufacturers of the aeration systems. And then during the bidding process, we approved another one as an alternate, as a equal alternate to those systems. King has worked with all of those manufacturers. They're all familiar with them. They haven't had any issues with them on that end of the project. But I can sure get a list of projects that they've done in the area, a complete list of projects that they've done in the area. Cleveringa Excavating, they're out of Alton, Iowa. We have worked with them on a few projects over in the Orange City area. We've never worked with them on a project like this. I'm not sure if they've done a project of this scope before or not.
Okay. Well, I noticed their bids were substantially higher than King, so that might be part of it. Since
yeah, and we talked a little bit about that after the bid. So leading up to the bid, King Construction asked a lot of questions.
They also came out and
Came
out to the site and looked it over
Yep, they visited the site, and then even after they visited the site, they
last week.
they followed up with additional questions about things that they had seen on site, wondering if some of these things were things they were going to have to take care of or not. Cleveringa did not ask a single question. And so I don't know if sometimes we get contractors that if they think there's not going to be a lot of interest in the project, they'll put a bid on it.
Sure.
I don't know. So
how many ponds are we doing from Kelly?
Three with aeration.
Okay. And they'll be done so that we still have capacity for our sewage or whatever.
Yep.
So is it David King Construction?
It's just King Construction.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it David though, do you know, or not?
That I don't know. I always, the guy that I've worked with them, his name is Marcus Stoltenberg.
Okay.
I have a question, Kelly. I know you got those couple of generators that you had to buy that would work with this. They know that also?
Yep.
Yeah, we specified that in the project, that
Okay,
there would be
that was
new-
already bought?
Yep,
Okay.
that there's new blowers and that the system that they brought in had to work with those new
Okay, that
blowers.
we've already got?
Yes,
Okay.
yep.
And what's better, floating or submerged?
That's gonna kind of be up to you guys and Kelly. A big selling point of the floating systems is the maintenance of them. And when I say floating, the aerator itself is still below water. The air pipe that goes to that aerator, it floats on top. But they say that their floating systems are much easier to maintain throughout their life cycle. They're a lot easier to pull out, replace parts, stuff like that. The submerged systems are super common. I mean, that's what you have right now. That's what got put into those lagoons originally. That's what a lot of places go with. And same with the floating ones. They're both common, accepted practices. It's kind of a, what do you prefer?
Ours is currently a
What do
floating
you think?
system.
It's currently submerged.
Ours is
It's
submerged.
currently submerged, yep.
So are you interested in the floating or don't you know? Are you
It's a lot, yeah, it'd be a lot easier to
maintain?
make,
Okay. And which one is, did you say the first aeration system was a floating?
Yes, alternate
Okay.
one is the floating. Yep.
All right. Well, and it's 20,000 cheaper too.
I think, not to correct you, yeah, the floating, if you look down at the bottom, base bid plus alternate one and then base bid plus alternate two. So the floating system is a little bit more than the submerged system.
Oh, I see.
50,000.
Okay.
So what's the general phase of construction then? How do they go about that? I'm just interested.
Yeah. So we're gonna replace all of the air pipe that goes from the blower building to the aerators. So they'll start with putting in the new blower pipe. Once they have that ready to go, they'll start pulling out the old aerators, putting in the new aerators and hooking them up to the new air pipe. Once everything's in, the supplier for the aerators comes and they do a startup of the aerators, making sure that everything was installed correctly and that everything looks correct.
So they actually drain the ponds then, or do they?
I don't believe so, no.
Really?
No.
Oh, I looked at the engineer's estimate.
So the question is, so a former council, bid this in May of 2022, 2 years ago, as you mentioned. It hasn't been done from then to now. What's the urgency? What, we need to do it at some point in time, obviously. What, it's lasted 2 years. What are we looking at right now if we would move ahead with this, for example, at this point in time?
So you have effluent limits on your DNR permit that allows you to have the wastewater lagoons. Those effluent limits are a measure of what is in the water that gets released from the lagoons. The aerators are a part of what controls the effluent. They're a part of what breaks down what's going into those lagoons and make sure that it gets digested and doesn't get outletted from the lagoons. So the aerators are actually a very important part of what the lagoons do, and I think technically right now with the number that aren't working, the lagoons are not operating per the DNR permit.
we've been limping along for a while.
Sure.
Are we outside our permit then, or
No, but I mean,
right on the finish?
there's supposed to be a lot more bubblers out there than what's there, and I mean,
It's time.
It's time.
Okay.
I mean, the guys that came and looked at it said they've never seen anything that old.
How did that be?
Nice.
Well, old isn't really bad, Kelly.
Yeah,
Old is, I was just saying that, old can be good.
yes.
Well, plus we've set up that dollars for the American
There is
Rescue
money
too.
that,
Yep.
yeah, that we have to use by, I think,
25.
We do, well, yeah, we need to designate it by the end of this year, I believe, and then have it constructed.
I believe we
25.
designated it.
And I think it's been
so it has
designated.
to
It
be
is
used for the
designated,
lagoon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do we
just
have a copy of that, or do we, what, that it was all sent in to them in Des
Yeah.
Moines, as far as you know?
Well, I had to update it last year, so.
Oh, you did again?
Okay.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
sounds good. I just wanted to make sure
And
that
that
it
amount
was
is
lost.
134.
34,000, so we need to come up with another 300,000 plus of funding for the rest of it. Ben, are you aware of any grants that are available for a project like that through the DNR or anything?
I'm not off the top of my head, but I can sure ask around and find out if anyone that I know over at the DNR and anybody up back at the office has worked with anything like that.
What was that grant one that you gave us, Kelly?
Would King
No, for
Construction have
electric.
anything? That, if they've worked with a lot of things, would they know anything, or don't they mess with that?
I mean, they, probably not, I can sure ask them, but they come in and they do the construction and they,
Let it go?
yeah, they get paid, so.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just thought sometimes you know,
Yeah.
so, because we will, be nice to have some grants.
So the bid, so this process started under the former council. They set the public hearing for tonight at the early December meeting. The bids are good for 30 days.
Yes.
So that's why we didn't have to take action on these bids tonight. We'll do that next time. We'll have a couple of resolutions at that time to act on, either to approve or deny. One is to approve the plans that were submitted. The other one is awarding the bid for the project. So those will be on our next agenda item, our next meeting agenda items on February 5th. Any other questions while we've got Ben here? Hearing none? I think that we're finished with this agenda item since it's just a discussion.
I don't have anything for Ben, but what are we gonna do for funding on this project?
We'll have to think about that between now and next meeting. We should have an idea of what that might be before we would approve. What happens if we approve the bid and timing of the installation of it? I mean, it has to be done in summertime, I'm sure.
Yeah, so we have a completion date, a required completion date in August for the project. That was simply to give them enough lead time to order equipment and get it in, because some of these things can take quite a while to get in. Once you vote to award the project, you're moving forward with the project, and you're obligated to have the work done and pay the contractor for the work.
Yep, absolutely.
That's when the contracts are signed, right, or thereabout?
So, if next council meeting you voted to award the project, then, yeah, then we're moving forward with, I mean, the contracts aside, the contracts are kind of a byproduct of you voting to award the project.
Right.
Because contracts will go to the contractor first to sign, and then they'll come to you guys to put signatures on. But if you voted to award the project, then the project's moving forward.
Right. So the next meeting is 3 weeks from last night. We do have an extra week in there. So as soon as we can, if we could get any information possibly for grants and things like that, not that we would have an answer, but are there even any out there available that we're aware of to apply for?
And we can also talk to that guy in Spencer, who works with grants and stuff too, to see if he'd have any ideas for us.
Well,
To
can we
apply
talk
for
to
it.
Ruth Bender Armstrong too? If they just did theirs, I'm sure they probably.
Probably wouldn't
If
hurt.
there's something
Yeah.
available.
Get a couple ideas from different places. Yep.
So the committee that this would most closely relate to is the committee list here, so I'll follow up with.
Stephen, I assume it'd be Stephen.
Steve, you guys,
We have utilities.
utility, okay. So if you guys could follow up with, try to, the city and Ruthven and Bend, see what's available there. Would be helpful.
Was it Ruthven and Mershire?
Armstrong.
Near. If you could confirm those for us,
Yeah,
Ben.
yeah, absolutely.
And if there's any other cities that we would want to talk to that you could give to us, that'd be good. Okay. Any other questions? Ben, thanks for being here again.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move on to what we'll call agenda item 8A, between 8 and 9 for the Delta Dental Plan renewals. I would entertain a motion to approve the Delta Dental Plan renewals for vision and dental insurance. Motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Okay. Discussion. Anyway.
Yeah, I asked to have this separated just because I'm not familiar with what we're trying to do here. Employees I assume currently have vision and dental.
I think just last year, I believe that we implemented that about a year ago.
A year ago, at least, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I think, is it longer than that, Gene? It's when we got, Hayden back in here, and he's
So 2 years.
requested that. I'd say 2.
Probably, yeah.
So, I'm assuming with the vision, the monthly vision rates they have listed there, is the city picking up the full cost, or is it employee city participation, or is it employee, or?
As far as I know, the city pays only for the employee. If they want to do their family, it's up to them. Is that not correct, Michelle?
So for vision, then that would be $6.94 per renewal. And that's per contract, or is that?
It's 4 people.
Per month,
Or
per
4
person.
people.
Yeah, we only have 4 employees on it.
Yeah, I saw that. Who are, besides you, Michelle and Kelly, who are the other?
We're not, I'm not on it.
Oh, you're not?
Me, Caden, I think Josh is on it. Is Tyler on it?
No,
That's okay.
it might be out.
So that's $6.94 per month.
Per month, per person.
That the city pays, okay.
Correct.
All right, and then, I see there's out of network and in network. Who's our network doctor? You know?
I mean, for dental,
No, for vision.
vision, I go to Sheldon, at the old IV.
Dr. Michael? Dr. Michael?
Okay. So is that in network, do you know, or is it? It's okay.
And you can call and you can get all in-network doctors.
Right, I was just.
Yeah, I used to go to the one in town here and that wasn't, they
No,
didn't
they
take
wouldn't
that.
accept it.
They didn't accept it, so then
Oh, really?
They should try.
Then, well, I guess it answers my question for the dental, then the city pays the $29.86 per month. The new renewal amount, correct? Okay. I just wanted to get up to speed on it, as I wasn't familiar with what was going on, so that's all I've got.
and the dentist in town accepts us insurance.
Okay, good. Good.
Thanks.
Any other questions, discussion? Hearing none, I presume you're ready to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. Okay. Item number 9. Michelle submitted the annual urban report. Actually, we don't need a resolution, but we need a motion. If that's okay to change that, downgrade that one. So I would entertain a motion to approve the annual urban renewal report.
Make a resolution.
Motion.
Motion?
Yeah,
To approve
change that to.
the annual urban renewal report.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a copy of it in the packet. Any discussion, questions? So thank you, Michelle, for getting this done and submitted. It's another report that goes to the Iowa Department of Management, IDOM, is required for anybody that has urban projects, TIF related, etc.
I can't believe she got this all done. This is a nightmare. Just looking at it.
Good job, Michelle.
I quit looking at it.
Oh my gosh.
I read it, but.
I went through it, but I won't tell you anything I've read.
So did we, since we were tardy, were there any fees or penalties or anything?
There are not.
Good deal. So our two TIF districts that are still active is the West Business Park and
East.
Agrivision. Not East, but Agrivision.
Agrivision.
Correct.
Oh, there's an agrivision.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, I assume we're ready to vote. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item number 10 is just, you have a copy of it in your packet. The annual financial report does not require any action on behalf of the council. That's according to Ted Nellison, the IDOM City Resources person. Michelle checked with him on that to make sure you were aware of that, but we just wanted to note that that report is in the packet. Again, it was late, no consequences there. You know anything to say on that?
Can it be late?
No, just on the report.
You'll see there's some sections here that are over budget. I did reach out to Ted Nellison again because by the time our books were caught up, it was too late to do anything. So one of these was mosquito spraying. We were over a little bit on the budget for that. The community and economic development, we under budgeted for the TIF rebates or the TIF refunds. So that's what that's from. And then your general government, that's this whole, it could be anything on here, and I haven't dug all the way through it to see what it was, but Ted did say that as long as we're not over on these same areas next year, it's not an issue.
The requirement is that you don't go over on any of those categories that you see on page 1 of that report. We have to do budget amendments, proactive, not reactive. So we will be watching that more closely this year with our books up to date. Michelle continues to make progress on that. She has determined that actually our current fiscal year budget hasn't been entered in the system, so that has to be done as well so that we can look at our actuals compared to budget on a monthly basis.
Right.
So you do one adjustment, or can you do more than one adjustment during the year?
You do it as needed.
As needed.
Including multiple budget amendments in there.
So in this particular budget, they overspent $128,000.
No, we're actually that's we underspent. Our total budget is under.
Right.
There's just three
Three of the
different line items.
Usually when you see a minus, you've overspent.
Yeah, it's a credit.
But we underspent.
We underspent.
So getting back into it, since I've not hidden this for a while, general obligation debt, what is that?
Those would be your RGO bonds, and some of that is in the TIF district.
Okay. And those bonds come due at some point, right? Do we have any coming up?
I just,
Or do you know?
yeah. We paid principal twice a year and.
Interest twice a year.
Interest twice and then
And
principal once.
a year. Every year annually we make payments on those. And there's a couple of them, they got varying lengths. One's 2028 and I think one's 2030, I believe.
Thanks.
All right, any other questions on that? Next item, agenda item 11. You've got information resolution in your packet. I would entertain a resolution to approve the 50-cent raise for Tyler Wilbur as noted in your packet resolution.
We got resolutions.
What's that?
I don't see any resolutions. She said she had to come back from there. She said when you do something.
All right, let me read the resolution for you. Resolution number 2024-07, resolution to approve 50-cent raise for Tyler Wilbur upon completion of 6 months' work at the City of Paullina. Be it resolved by the Council of the City of Paullina, Iowa, to approve 50-cent raise for Tyler Wilbur at the City of Paullina, Iowa. I would entertain a motion to approve that resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve that resolution to give Tyler Wilbur the 50-cent raise for completing his 6 months of work. And Jean and I have evaluated him, and Kelly was there too.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Sorry. Now I'll tell you. Yeah, we evaluated him this past Monday, I think it was. And, he feels he's liking the job and wants to continue, and Kelly is happy with the work that's going on, so we okay to bring it to the council and give him a 50-cent raise. And that is in our handbook, that after 6 months, everybody is, whoever starts working is eligible for a raise of some sort. So
Question, does a new employee sign a contract, or is it just all by ordinance? Is there any piece of paper, Michelle, that you sign? Okay. Just wondering.
Any other questions, discussion? I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Roll call. Roll call votes.
Steve Herron,
Aye.
Carol Hunkon, Nicole Jacobs.
Aye.
Jean Unruh,
Aye.
Denny Workmeister.
Aye.
All right, motion to pass the resolution passes. Okay. Next item, agenda item number 12. Entertain a motion for this resolution. Resolution number 2024-08. Resolution to approve a $2 raise for Michelle Wilson as city clerk. Be it resolved by the Council of the City of Paullina, Iowa, to approve $2 raise for Michelle Wilson as city clerk at the City of Paullina, Iowa. Do we have a motion for that resolution?
I'll move to present that resolution.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Carol and Jean, as the employee committee?
We discussed that in September when we actually appointed Michelle to be city clerk. Means before that she was deputy. We never gave her a raise, and we felt that we kind of missed that vote, and we should fix it, and feel she's been doing, and her and Alex both, but Michelle is in charge, and so that she should be eligible for a raise, and we kind of came up with a $2 raise for all the work she's put into this.
She's doing an excellent job.
Right. She's gone through a lot of stuff and
Found a lot of mistakes.
right. So
It'll be nice when they get caught up, because then she can start learning, have time to learn all the other items of
Right.
that position. This resolution is typed up to not have an effective date. Do you have a recommended effective date, Carol and Jean? Retroactive to that September date?
yes, I think we can go back to that September.
I think so too.
Yeah, we should have done it then.
It says it's as city clerk, so that really refers to that date. So
Yes,
just to
right, it
clarify.
does.
Okay.
So
Any other discussion, comments, questions?
So, Michelle, are you on an hourly basis, or?
I am.
Okay. What does that equate into, $2 raise?
she'll be annually
Or just per hour?
$23.05, won't it? Or to 2105 right now?
I'll get 24.5.
Yeah, 24. So $2 raise would
It's
be
like
4,000
$50,000 a year.
That brings it just over 50,000 for the position.
Yep.
Thanks.
All right, any other questions, comments? I assume we're ready to vote. Michelle, roll call vote, please.
Steve Herron?
Aye.
Carol Hunkell?
Aye.
Nicole Jacobs?
Aye.
Gina Enrout?
Aye.
Denny Workmeister?
Aye.
All right. Next item on our agenda is to discuss the fiscal year 25 budget process and calendar. I've been said 2025 a lot. On the table in front of you is a recommended example budget process calendar from the Iowa Department of Management. They have a couple of examples on their website. One of them was for a city that has 2 meetings a month on the first and third Tuesdays. So you'll see the revisions in the day of the week and the dates to coincide with our meetings on Monday nights. Michelle has requested budgets from a number of departments. What have you received so far?
I have libraries, and I have Ryan's, and I have Nate's.
Okay, so you follow up on with the rest of them, including, because you follow up with the Swanson, with the school. You haven't gotten anything from the Ball-Field, have you? So this will be an agenda item on our next meeting calendar, February 5th, at which time we'll hopefully be able to determine if we're going to have to call any special meetings in the month of February or early March to meet these requirements. I think that if I had to guess, we'll have to at least have one workshop meeting in there, but we'll know more as we get that, start pulling that information together. So just wanted to get this all on our calendars and be working towards it. If you are, you committee people, if you would please touch base with your groups, if they're the budget type of groups, get a hold of them. For example, we have library, but we might have some questions that you go back to them with, etc. So I'd like you to be familiar with those budgets. And we'll also invite those people in to our meeting when we work on the budgets and discuss that as well, so they can explain these to us. Any questions, thoughts, comments on the budget? It's going to be a busy few months to get this done. It has to be approved, submitted and approved by April 30th, and last year it was well beyond that. But there aren't any exceptions on this, and we have to have this done. March 5th, actually 15th, but really March 5th is a key date too, because there's some new process in the state that the county will be sending out public hearing, information, tax rate levies, information on all levels of taxes, county, city, and school district to everybody. And this has to be included, ours has to be included in there as well. So that'll be a key date that we achieve.
So, as reference, what was done in the previous fiscal year, do we have at least a number that was budgeted? Because you're still working on getting all of that together.
Well, we can look back at the paper.
I mean, I'm just looking for what they budgeted, because that would maybe help.
Okay.
Yeah, we have that.
We have that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's available. If you go to the city website or if you go online, but I'll send you out a link to that, because our budget was submitted and approved by the state. So that's accessible online as well, so we can give you that information to look. We can look back at that, prepare for the next meeting.
Has the state sent anything out in regards to how the things that were passed on property tax and so on? Have you received anything from the state? In my conversations with, depending on the person that I'm speaking with, have said that it won't impact us, but then the other side is saying it will impact us, so I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that it's got to impact us.
I think it will impact us.
Is what, so that it's got to affect our revenue side. I don't think it will be an increase, it will be a decrease.
The new section 718 here, the number 718 lot is the bill that did that. It's, what they're doing is there's different levy amounts by different cities throughout the state, and they're also trying to reduce the increase in assessed values and the taxes related to it. And they're headed over, they've got a phase-in period, a rollback, etc. And they're headed to get all cities to an $8.10 levy amount, exclusive of the additional levies that you can put on top of that. I look back at our prior budgets, and it looks like we're at the $8.10 already, so I'm not sure if it'll have a significant impact on us or not. We aren't far enough into it yet to really determine where we're at with it.
So does that mean our levy is basically used up, or is there still?
No, that just means that they're directing all cities towards that $8.10 amount as far as your levy amount. That's about all I know about it right now. We're learning.
Right. Well, as with anything, new legislation, it's confusing with that, so.
Yep. Okay, any other questions? All right, move on to item number 14. Approve bunkers lawn application proposal for 2024. I would entertain a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Do you have a second?
A second.
All right, discussion and information in your packet. Is this a Michelle thing or a Kelly thing with bunkers? As far as any explanation, and are these the correct properties?
Well, I think there's going to be some additions to that because the Johnson property is not on there.
Yeah, what are we going to do with the Johnson property?
We gotta get that cleaned up yet too, so. Don't worry too much about spraying that next year.
How much was it last year?
Yeah, I've got it here.
I figured you did.
Is that the Maple Street open lot thing? Is that what's on it?
Is that what they need there, that open lot?
Where,
Wait, the very last one?
It is.
Open
No,
lot.
That would be
Or is that down
Oh,
here?
that's the one way down south? Okay.
like
corner of
between
Maple
Don
and
People and
Dave.
Steve
Yep.
Trent.
Oh, okay.
Non-people.
Okay.
So the total last year was about 2,870 for spring and fall application combined.
So it's about
How
30
much?
2,870.
So this would be about 3,500.
We'll have to do a second application in the fall, won't we, on that Johnson property? The weeds will be caught up by then. We want to kill them for the drainage.
I have talked to them about doing that. I'll call them back and they're supposed to get me a price for what that would cost, that property, so.
That's separately.
Is any of that in grass area? Or is it mostly weeds?
What's that?
That property down there?
Johnson does probably weeds, but we never see.
Was it all weeds?
A lot, like the front part of it was, the back part was grass.
Could we round
But now
up
it's,
could we round up ourselves and, I don't know.
So by the back part, is that the Harker to
East
Wood?
part, yeah.
So really that's been improvements section versus ours. So our part of it from Maple to Wood probably was all weeds right there.
Crazy because it's,
I don't know if we can, unless somebody has a pesticide license.
Oh, but
We can't do that ourselves unless somebody has a
Have a license
pesticide
to
license.
apply pesticide, herbicide,
Yep, I can see that.
fertilizer, everything. Yeah, probably best not, of course, not to get involved in that.
True.
So are we looking to approve what we have on our sheets tonight, and then Kelly will get a cost on it, with Johnson property?
Revise it as needed.
Or just approve this one and then approve the other?
approve the next one, yep.
Okay, any other questions on this?
I did see it went up, about $700, so is that pretty normal? Is that a pretty big increase, or did they add something, or?
No, the price of chemicals has gone up greatly,
Okay.
so that's probably what it is. And they do a good job. I mean,
Yeah, they do.
our properties look.
Yep, I think
Okay.
They always look good.
and if you have any issues, they're very easy to work with, to let you know if there's a problem.
All right, ready to vote? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. Move on to reports. Here, I don't really have anything new. It's all focused on, wrapping up the financial reports that Michelle has done and starting into the budget process, as well as we'll get definition out to each one of you committee members on what's kind of some of the, not the requirements, the focus areas of your committees. We had that before. I did not distribute that with the named people last time around, so we'll get that information to you as well. I think that's all for this time. Keep looking towards, thanks to Kelly and crew for, they had an easy snow removal early season, but it's catching up now.
Enjoyed November, December. We all did.
Yeah, we all did.
You're better than last year.
Oh, amen. Of course, don't say anything. You're only in January.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. Every day. We've got a couple months to go.
I said we're gonna pay for that nice weather. so-
Probably.
I'm sure.
All right. Now Kelly?
We basically been doing snow removal. Our orange truck is currently not in operation. We're waiting on a part for it. It's been out for about a week. Our picking up snow will go a lot faster once, and that part is supposed to come in tomorrow, I believe. So hopefully it gets fixed tomorrow. I have the Iowa Waste Agency, or Solid Waste Agency meeting tomorrow night in Sheldon at 7. I'm going to.
What's the status of the tree grinding, of the Johnson property, et cetera?
I'll call him and check in with him, but I don't know if all the snow we got, if he'll wait till spring. We're probably gonna start, once we get caught up on snow, we'll probably start hauling a little bit out of the time after the tree dump.
Start burning. Be good. All right.
Warm it up. Yeah, right.
Bonfire.
You betcha.
Okay. Thanks, Kelly. Michelle?
Well, we had AV IT Solutions, they were here today. And they'll have to come back for the firewall, but they did put, we do have a server, so my computer won't serve as the server. So once that's up and running, that will speed Alex's computer up.
Oh, that'll be nice.
And Kelly's.
And Kelly's, yeah.
Oh, right.
It was horrible today.
Yeah,
So did we have a firewall before? I thought we did.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good. But now they're replacing put their own in,
yes.
or whatever.
Our own. That was part of that initial
We're buying.
cost, yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. City Council, any comments from any of you? Committee reports, heard from the employee committee already. I think that everything else with the assignments. Good. Departments, police,
I thought you guys maybe I turned in my budget to her last week. I thought maybe you'd have a copy, but maybe you didn't. But this is an updated, because of course, the day I turn it in to her, the next day I get some new information, so I have to update the account.
okay.
So that's what that's there for. Otherwise, I don't have anything.
Crime activity around town. Do you hear from other towns? Are we kind of similar in the types of calls and things like that that you make, or?
Yeah, I think for the most part, yeah. I mean, there's ups and downs any way you look at it, but overall, I think it's pretty similar.
Okay. All right. Ryan?
Last Wednesday, Michelle and I attended the county township trustee meeting up in Primgar. Everything pretty much went good, gave them an update on where we stood on our tax levy for the townships, what we're getting paid per section. Also updated them that as of right now, we're looking at about 2026, a new engine. That one, our pumper now will be 20 years old. So yeah, kind of gave them an updated price on what that will cost. Didn't really scare any of them, so. But there's some other things that I'll discuss with my committee that we also talked about at that time. My budget, you guys should all have a copy of that. And it's in the budget for that new truck is in that budget, so. On the budget, it specified the whole price, but half of that price will be the township money. So don't look at that price and go straight to the ledge, but yeah, it's not exactly gave you the cheapest piece of equipment to replace. So
By the time that you get to that date, it's gonna be more expensive too. Right?
yeah, it'll probably be more expensive, and I guess the big thing, I'm hoping the lead times cut down a little, because we're looking at 2 to 3 years right now for a lead time for a truck. So
I think on the last one, didn't we put money down and then got in the queue basically to...
yeah. Well, no, we didn't put that.
Or was that a used one?
No. So the last one, that's kind of part of why our lead time was the way it was, is we didn't put any money down. So it kind of depends on which manufacturer you're buying from also on the cost. Some of them allow you to put money down, some bill you along the way as progress goes. So that will be later on this year, after we get some of this settled, we're going to have a truck committee and start building a spec for the truck, because that's a big thing too, is it's wise to go with a spec, otherwise you're not doing anything apples to apples. It's just however they read your list, it's open-ended discussion, and you need to try to close that discussion. Yeah.
As you mentioned that meeting in the townships, do all the townships attend that? So
typically, all of mine were there this year. So
Yay.
Yay.
yeah. So yeah. So like I said, I'll report to my committee on the rest of the discussion we had. So, because that hopefully it will be a good result. So also, did you give them their annual report?
while she's looking at that, any update on the new fire station property?
Sure. Got another flag state, so yeah, I think there's some complications there still. So, again, waiting on ag state and their lawyer, so.
Okay.
So she's giving you right now my annual report, just summarizes the kind of where we are going, our property, our active members we have now. We have gained some more new, younger active members, which is nice. And next month we'll have hopefully a couple of junior firefighters joining, so one for sure. Busy year again, 42 calls this year. I'm excited to report we had not a single motor vehicle accident from the detour madness which is a huge relief because the amount of traffic that road took was insane. Some of you were on the council, some of you weren't, but in May, we had the big fuel spill down at the car control station. That was our biggest and longest call for the year. That was about, I quit at counting hours at 32 hours, so yeah, that was a lot. So training this year, we were able to do some state training provided with our 4-county co-op out at one of them was USAR training out at the Prairie Heritage Center using the grid system, which is something that's really nice. It also had grain bin emergency class this fall in October. Just gives you a brief update on the new water truck that's out in Germantown that we purchased.
Okay, anybody have any questions of Ryan?
And that old one they kept, right?
Yeah, so the township owned that and they ended up selling it. So I don't, I said they could have it and move on with whatever they wanted with it. So yeah, that was nothing we wanted.
Right, I thought that's what you had said earlier.
All right, thanks Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Ambulance,
Thank you.
doesn't look like anybody's here from ambulance. Library, yeah.
Just, we got our budget submitted. We look forward to the discussions about that. Sure we will be. We're getting used to our new board members and we're just getting into the new season. Thanks for keeping our snow clear. Appreciate that. So.
What days are your board meetings on? Are they on Thursdays?
Right now, we've been doing Thursdays because we have the after-school program that interrupts our Wednesdays. The new board members, they need to decide if we're going to change that in our officially. But we're just publishing a month in advance, the new dates.
Okay.
So that if people know the change, they can.
Thank you.
So second Thursday, it kind of.
Second Thursday is what we've been sitting
at
with.
1 o'clock?
Yep.
Airport, I'll contact our airport committee members and we should get something planned there to determine where we're gonna go since we don't have an airport manager. Get a hold of the flying club and we'll get together and figure out how to move forward with that. So. All right. End of our agenda. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a, go ahead, we're done. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. Our next meeting is noted at the bottom, Monday, February 5th at 5:30 p.m.
Okay.